Welcome to Sports Close-Up with Ed Marin, my broadcast partner. Today's show, the 2016 Meadville Bulldogs, who had a great season, orchestrated by the head coach, who's our first guest, Coach Ray Collins. Coach, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go back, Coach. You and I talked in August before the season even started, and you were telling me at the time the major concern you had was whether this team would come together. Boy, did they ever come together.
Yeah, they did. That's a true story. You know, come August, I wasn't sure what the team chemistry was going to be. I knew we had a lot of good players, but I didn't know actually how they would all play together and come together as one team. And, yeah, they came together pretty well.
Came together real well. Well, let's go back to the first game of the season. You host Erie Central Falcons here at Bender Field. We happen to be upstairs in the film room, locker room, which is really a nice place they built for you guys. But, you know, they came in and, defeated the Bulldogs. Decent game offensively. Defense wasn't there. Went up to Edinburgh, played Jerome McLean. First half, Meadville wasn't there at all. Right. Second half, Ed and I talked at the end of the game. There was some glimmer of hope. The Bulldogs came alive. And I know you have said constantly throughout the season you felt you saw a turning point in the second half of that game.
Yeah, I really do think, Mike, that the moment of clarity for us for this season came at halftime of the General McLean game. We were 6 quarters into playing some really poor football defensively, I thought. And so when we went in at halftime, it was not so much about making adjustments with the X and O's as it was making adjustments about attitudes. And, basically challenging the guys and finding out what they were willing to sacrifice for their teammates. And so we had a good man-to-man talk at halftime. And when we come out for that second half, these guys are ready to go. And they played a great second half against General McLean. Unfortunately, we just let the game get away from us too much in the first half. But they come out, put together a great second half, and then that carried on the rest of the season. It really did.
Well, one other thing, too, Coach, you've always given me total access to your program, which I really appreciate. And I remember the next morning, right up here, it was a film session morning, if I'm not mistaken, and guys were watching a film, and there was a play that happened, and you kind of very politely told your defense coordinator, Mike, to shut the film off for a minute, and I could see the veins popping out of your neck. And you looked at a couple of your players, and you kind of very bluntly told them that it's going to be this way, and if you didn't like it, then you didn't have to be part of what was going to happen. Right. You could hear a pin drop in this room at that time. Right. But the kids really took to heart what you said, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and I think really, as an identity, up until that point, we had struggled for what was the identity of this football team. We were talented enough, but were we going to be a team of 11 individuals, everybody looking out for their own best interests, or were these guys going to take that talent that they had and put it all together into one pot and then just become a very strong football team? And that weekend of the General McLean game, I think, was that time that they really got the message. And, when we came back out on the field on Monday to get ready for week 3, they were ready, they were focused, and it was like a brand new football team out there for us.
It's funny, I do the games with Ed, as you know, and Ed told me after the McLean game, I remember going back home, and I don't know if you remember, and I was saying, we got to do this, we got to get out. And you said, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Why did you believe that, Ed?
Because ever since Coach took over, you could tell what he's brought to the team. He brought respect and dignity back to the Meadville football program. Even this year, I don't think I've seen one kid that was ineligible, that got kicked off the team or anything. I mean, just what he's brought back, and they all they surround Coach. They feed off of him. And just the way they played in that second half, I knew that we would be all right. Just I don't know, just the way he talks to the kids. They really respect him. And I just figured they would feed. And then you could just tell in that second game, I don't know what he said to the offensive defensive line, but they weren't catching anymore. They were getting penetration. They were, keying up on their blocks, and it went from there.
Yeah, Coach, that's the other thing, and we want to talk about that for a while. You've had 3 backs that had outstanding years, but your line started coming off the ball. And, you guys went through a lot of different schemes in practice and so forth, but your line really understood what they had to do, and they came off the ball this year.
It all starts with those guys up front. That's why we have the Hog Club. The guys are very proud to be a part of that club. In fact, the running backs try hard to get in that club. But the only way you can get in that Hog Club is to block, and to block violently and with great enthusiasm. And that's where it starts for us. And we actually start that hog frenzy, if you will, in the summertime. Those guys come down on Saturday mornings when everybody else is in bed. They come down at 8 o'clock in the morning and go through a 2-hour workout. There's nothing but team building and motivation, and really raises their self-esteem, and it gets that chemistry of that unit starting to come together and gel. And if you look at those linemen, they're very proud of who they are. They're very proud of the job that they do on a Friday night, and they don't care about the accolades or the press time or a pat on the back or anything like that. They know what they do, and the running backs are very good about recognizing the guys and the efforts that they've made. But yeah, it starts with those guys up front. Always has.
I've been on the offensive defensive line the whole year, just the way they played. I mean, what did you tell them in the halftime at General McLean?
Oh boy.
Maybe you can't tell us on air.
They probably won't tell you either, but no, it was more of a thing of, look, we're lacking a lot of confidence out here. That's a varsity football team that you're playing against, your varsity football team, and I don't understand as your head coach why you're not more competitive with that team that we're playing out there. And it's time that you step up and become competitive. And I went around the room and I pointed fingers and I touched a lot of guys in the chest, and I wanted to get my message across, and it really got them going. It got them fired up, and when they come out in the second half, like I said, a totally different team, a sense of urgency. There was a sense of pride that you could see had been ignited, and they come out and play very hard in that game. And sometimes as a head coach, that's what you have to do. You have to inspire, and you have to get your guys ready to go and motivate them, and that's what I think we got accomplished at halftime of that General McLean game.
Well, you're on the week 3 of playing Du Bois here. Your team was at a crossroads. You couldn't afford another loss. Right. Even so, Du Bois. But you kind of reset the season. Remember you telling your team, this is the first Region 5 game. We're 0-2, but this is our first Region 5 game. We can turn this season around. And watching the practices that week, how spirited they were, you felt very confident, if I remember right, going into that game, didn't you? Even so, if I'm not mistaken, you had to come into the game when it started because your son was graduating from the Marines, right?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of pressure on me that week. I remember that week well. I knew I was only going to be at practice for a couple of days that week, and so I didn't want to leave unfinished business back here in Meadville as I was going down to Paris Island for my son's graduation, and I knew that I'd be back in time to coach the game Friday, but I didn't want to leave too much on the assistant coaches. Of course, I have a great coaching staff, and I knew they were up to the task. But, when you're 0-2 and you obviously, you're looking at some serious adversity here, we're going to start this thing out 0-3, and you start thinking about, well, if you're 0-3, I mean, at what point do you start losing the kids? At what point do they just stop believing that there's a possibility? So you have to put things in context, and the context for that week was, look, we've lost 2 non-region games. Neither of these games count towards a Region 5 championship or any standing in the region. So let's renew a focus on winning this region game because it's much more important actually than the last 2 games that you've played and lost. So let's get our focus on beating Du Bois. Let's be confident. Let's prepare like a championship football team. Let's go out and win this game.
And you had a reverse of last year, and you and I have talked about this. Last year you started strong, you went up to Du Bois, that game made ESPN, everything it made, ABC morning show, you got calls from California stuff, and it was a big hoopah, and kind of after that the team started going down a little bit, and you and I talked maybe they got too much attention too early and lost sight of the bigger goal. This year you're 0-2, you defeat Du Bois, you kill Warren when they come here, but you could just feel the intensity for the cash game because people had called out a rivalry. I thought that was a joke because we never beat them. It's not a rivalry until you beat them. They have dominated the series.
Right.
You went to Lionsville to play cash, and you guys, 14-14 at the half. Second half, you just took control. That had to be a great win.
It was a great win. It was a huge win. I knew the kids wanted it bad. I mean, we had talked about it. I knew that these seniors, this was really their last shot at that opportunity. And Cash is a very well-coached football team. They always have good football players. And, I wanted that game really bad for these guys. So We got them prepared for it. And you look at that first half, and Cash played us really tough. And I still think, week 4 of the season there, we were still really struggling for our identity of who we were. And I don't think we were as confident as a football team in week 4 as we were in, say, week 9 or week 10. That came as we continued to play and get better. But they did. They come out in that second half of the Cash game and took care of business. And that, to me, was a huge win for these seniors. It was a huge win for the program, too, because, like you said, we'd never beaten Cash. And it was just kind of that thing you wanted to get off your back. And so they come out and they got the job done.
Tough win at home?
What's that?
Was it a tough win at home?
Oh, yeah, it's always a tough win at home. Well, if
Some people
the
don't
viewers don't know, my son plays for Cash, so it's always a comical week in my house because we eat dinner together, but we don't really talk too much football, and he won't tell me anything, and I won't tell him anything, and on game night, the day of the game, we always make sure we say good luck to each other. And then after the game, we're shaking hands. There's always a wink and a handshake and a little hug there. But, yeah, he took it well. They were confident going into the game as well. They should have been. And, he was very gracious in defeat when he came home. He told me it was a good game. But, yeah, it's always an interesting week at my house when we play Cash.
Later on in the season, you're pitted against Grove City, who was undefeated, ranked 5th in the state, getting all kind of accolades. Their quarterback's getting all kind of fanfare, and rightly so, because he has a great arm, he's a great athlete, and he can run the ball. But I remember coming to practice this year, and your team is practicing hard. But talk about a loose team. They're having fun. They're smiling, running around. And wow, they go to Grove City and just hammered them from the beginning of the game. Yeah. Of course, a great onside kick, too.
Yeah, great onside kick. Well, our kicker always surprises us with those great onside kicks. No, I tell you what, the one thing that I really liked about this team was throughout the entire season they stayed loose. And I think as a coach you got to watch that, because when a big game's on the horizon, I think sometimes a team will naturally get tightened up, nerved up, and not really cut it loose on game night. This group's totally opposite of that. They're very loose during the practice week. They were having fun. I mean, they were having fun right up to West Allegheny, snow, rain, whatever the weather might give us. Those guys were having fun. And that was just how they were all season long. And so when kids are having fun practicing, they're having fun playing football on Friday nights, and they're just having fun, being teammates with each other.
So they captured the Region 5 championship, Coach, and this thing continues to go and go, and you're in the D10 playoffs. You win the first game against Strong Vincent. Second game, rematch against Cash. Cash would like nothing more than upset your team and prevent you from winning the first District 10. The game's at Greenville, and lo and behold, they're up 20-7 at halftime. How concerned were you and your staff?
I would say I was very concerned at that point because Cash really came off the bus hot. They were ready to go. I knew they were going to be ready to go. You could tell in the attitudes of the two squads in the pregame that they were ready to go. They were fired up and they were intense. And I think Coach Gold had a phenomenal game plan going into that game. The first half they executed it flawlessly. They had us down 20-7. I was very concerned about whether we would be able to come back from that. But once again, if we can weather the storm, and which we did, and get back in halftime and make some adjustments, and that's a particular halftime where we made a lot of adjustments, and the big adjustment was let's just come out and play power football, and that's what we did in the second half, and that was the key to that win.
Then you meet Grove City again for the D10 championship.
Right.
And Grove City's playing in their backyard of Greenville. Meadville had to go again down to Mercer County to play. A lot of people thought, if I'm not mistaken, the word around here was some people thought it was a fluke that you beat Grove City the first time. The weather was Meadville's advantage, etc. Grove City still had a high-powered offense. They won their first 2 playoff games. In fact, they played a game here at Benefield and beat Fort LaBeouf, which was a very strong team. So a lot of people were pointing at Grove City getting their revenge game. Coach, from the first play, your team just dominated that game. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I did. I knew it wasn't a fluke. I mean, I had heard the noise being made. I had heard the comments, and I shared those comments with these guys. And nothing like a little motivation from some negative comments. And I knew that, Grove City had blamed the weather for their lack of execution on offense, certainly their passing game. And I was okay with that because I knew that it wasn't a fluke. I knew that physically we were a tough football team, and I knew that our kids won that District 10 championship really bad. And I knew that we would come out on that field fired up and really be intent on punching them in the nose right out of the gate. And the boys delivered as I expected that they would. So I may have been the only guy in the entire stadium that expected the outcome of that District 10 championship game.
I beg to differ. I called that score perfectly. You can ask Mike.
Ed did call the score for
Well,
the
no,
game.
I mean, it goes to your defensive line.
Right.
They got to push both games against Grove City. And even after the McLean game, it helped your DBs.
Yeah.
All your secondary, that they played a lot better too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I seen all of them tackling a lot better. But that defensive line got a push on that quarterback, and he didn't know what to do.
Right. Yeah, we put a lot of pressure on Cameron Patterson in that game. Got a couple of sacks, and that was the plan. Was not to let Cameron Patterson sit in the pocket and see the whole field, and then go through his passing progression. We wanted to move him around the pocket, flush him, and have him hurry some throws, and that's what we did.
I think I counted 2 seconds was the longest time that he held that ball.
Yeah.
Before he went. I mean, usually it was 1 second and he had to scramble. I mean, it was that quick.
Yeah. Those guys up front were just a handful, and Coach Goss called a great game defensively. He brought some slants and some different line stunts to really put the pressure on the offensive line of Grove City. And I'll put our 4 guys up front against anybody. They're good athletes.
You guys made them look like a JV team. I mean, seriously, both games. I mean,
You know what you really did well against Patterson, Coach? You made him bring his eyes down.
Yeah.
Because he was getting so much heat, he had to bring his eyes down to see where the defenders were. And when you have a great quarterback and you make them bring their eyes down, you're done because they're not seeing what the receivers are.
Oh, absolutely. No, he wasn't able to sit in a pocket.
And you feel comfortable
because we eliminated the pocket,
Right.
and what we did was we pushed him off of his marks. We pushed him left and we pushed him right, and you're absolutely right. When you have to, as a quarterback, move laterally side to side, okay, now all of a sudden you're not able to look at the other side of the field, so you can't go through all your progressions.
Yep.
So that was the key, really, to basically keeping that passing game in check for that game.
Yeah, your defensive line was underrated this year, and as Ed gave nicknames to a lot of the players, Barrett Hoffman, Barrett Green and Barrett Hoffman. We had a couple of key plays in that game, but Coach, we want to
Mack Truck,
congratulate
man.
you and your staff. First Region 5 championship, first ever D10 championship, first appearance in the state playoffs,
Yeah.
first win ever in the state playoffs. First 11 game wins in Meadville history.
Yeah.
First 11 games in a row in Meadville history. First team to defeat Cash. Defeated them twice. Defeated Grove City and defeated Grove City twice. Grove City's only 2 losses this year. You really ruined their year.
Yeah,
Because they were ranked 5th and they had a bullet. They thought they were going way up, so we didn't mind you ruining it.
Well, that's what we tried to do.
And most points in a season, D10 record, 727 points in 14 games. Your team averaged 51.9 points a game. You win a lot of games when you do that. But also, I've always said you win with defense.
Win with defense.
And
You
your defense
absolutely
came to
did.
life this year.
Yeah, I think we, as the season came to an end, I think I just figured up that we only gave up about 20 points a game.
Yeah.
We averaged 51 and gave up 20. And that's a pretty good ratio. When you're putting up those numbers and only allowing 20 points, you're going to win a lot of football games. But hey, I can't take a lot of credit for all this, fellas. I had a great group of kids that made my job very easy, very easy.
And I know, Coach, real quick, you want to thank the community. You
Yeah.
came back winning D10. The firemen, policemen gave your kids a parade through town with the siren. I mean, the community really supported your team.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this community rallied behind this group of young men. I was very proud of the community. It was exciting to watch. And if you looked at the stands when we were playing down North Allegheny against West Allegheny, it was packed. And the
But that
previous
buses
weekend,
leave here.
yeah,
Miller Brothers took a bus down to like 35 people.
Well,
Bus.
looked more
They
like
didn't even
3,500 people
But
down there.
well, they didn't even charge them. They just brought them down on the bus and they sat there for the game, which I thought was kind of nice.
You had 2 radio stations.
Yeah, it was exciting. When you get that deep into the playoffs and you're making a run, it's really exciting. It's humbling, actually, to see the community support, the support of the school and the administration, and it's just, it's something
And
new.
real quick, Coach, Ed and I are excited about this because of the great year your team had and you guys had. Ron was next year too, 94.3
Yeah, thanks,
FM.
Coach.
Yeah,
So
you
you're
will.
gonna have-
Give you guys an upgrade, huh?
Yeah, people
Well,
can be able to
congratulations.
people can hear the Bulldogs from here all the way through Edinburgh, Erie County, and Mercer County.
Well, congratulations.
So they're gonna have to keep it going.
Right, well, they will.
We'll be back with some of the players of this year's outstanding team.
Mumau calling signals. Gonna hand it to Journey Brown. Journey cuts inside to the 50, 45, 40. He might go all the way, 30. Nobody's gonna catch Journey Brown. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Journey Brown goes 48. No, he goes 54, 56 yards for the score. Mumau gives it to Manning. He's got the first down or more. Manning to the 35, 30. He might go all the way, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Bulldog. Isaiah Manning up the gut. They go split right. Wing T formation, Brown in motion. Gonna give it to Manning, who breaks the tackle to the 50. Manning to the 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, to the 50, cuts inside to the 10, 5, touchdown, Bulldogs. Isaiah Manning 60. Takes it to the house. Mumau calling signals. Manning behind him, 3rd and 10. First time Meadville's been in a long turn. Mumau looking. He's gonna lead a receiver and caught by Journey Brown down the sideline. Brown will go all the way for a touchdown. Mumau hits Journey Brown along the right sideline. Brown goes in motion. Gonna hand that ball off to Isaiah Manning, who goes up the middle for a good gain, about 8, 9, 10. And Manning breaks it to the 30. Manning to the 40. Manning to the 50. To the 40. To the 30. To the 20. To the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Meadville. Isaiah Manning goes 90 yards up the middle down the right side. Mumau now calling signals. Split to the right. Brown in motion. Journey's going to get it. Going to cut back inside. Journey gets 5. He's going back 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Meadville. Journey Brown. Meadville in their spread formation, 1st and 10 on the 21-yard line of DuBois. Mumau calling signals, going to hand it off to Ferraro, who's going wide. Now he turns it inside. Ferraro might go. Ferraro is going to be knocked out, and the ball comes loose about. Go! He's in for a touchdown.
Welcome back to the show. We have the quarterback, the running backs, the wideout, and my broadcast partner Ed Marin is going to introduce these guys because he's got nicknames with their names.
Not
Go
all of
ahead.
them. Not all of them.
I'll introduce them all anyway.
Well, we got Journey Brown. He didn't like the nickname I gave him, so I can't call him that. And then you got Mac Truck Manning, Antonio Ferraro Testarossa, and Kirk Wow, and then Casper Darius Edwards over there.
Journey must have liked one thing, though, because Journey, I always said about you, when you're even, he's leaving. And that's why I felt you ran. When somebody came even with you, put in another gear and you were gone. But first of all, guys, great season. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Kurt, since you were the quarterback, let's start with you. You quarterbacked the last game of the 2013 season, which was against Cash, and then it was a while before you became quarterback again, I think, correct?
I went 2 years without playing quarterback after that.
How did you feel this year taking over as quarterback? Were you felt confident?
Yeah, it was good to be back. I played wide receiver the past couple of years, special teams, defense. It was good to be back at quarterback.
I know Coach Collins told me one thing he was really proud of you. If he could put you anywhere and you just played hard and you played that position, you didn't whine or pout. I got to ask you a question, though. And every time you went up this year on the center, you kind of hit the centers on the right side a little. What was that for? Is that to tell him that we're ready to go?
Just let them know I'm there.
Just something you did or something the coaches told you to
something I
do?
did. I mean, back in low graders, my coach told me to do it. Just let them know. Because when you're that young, it's something to let them know I'm there.
Derek, as the wideout, one of the things Coach changed, which I really liked, is he had you and the other wideouts bring the plays in. Because I know in the past, and you're probably like that, Kirk, back in the day, the quarterback used to run back and forth.
Yep.
And I always told people that Tanner Fry should be on a cross-country team no matter the time he ran back and forth. Was it easier for you being a quarterback that the wideouts were bringing the plays in?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like running back and forth. I don't know why. It's just something. Just run back and forth. It's just, I don't know. But
Okay. Derek, way back in the day, 70, 71, back in Long Island, I played wideout too, and I used to have to bring the plays on like you did. And couple times I actually forgot what the coach told me. You know, and the big game, I was excited. Did you ever have that happen to you?
Oh yeah, at the beginning of the year, there's a couple times where I'd forget.
What'd you tell Kirk? I forgot, call a play? What we
Whenever he
doing?
forgets, we just call a guard trap. That's what we do. Happened a couple times.
Well, that's probably a smart play to call,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, give Izzy the ball. You know, nothing wrong with that.
Let's talk to you guys for a second here in the front. First of all, Journey, over 7,000 yards in your Meadville Bulldog career. I remember talking to you during the track season, and I asked you why you were so good to young kids. And in fact, a story goes, I don't know how many people know this, and you probably don't even know I know this. I think it was maybe a month or a month and a half ago, there was a young kid coming up North Street on a bicycle, and he fell right off his bicycle. And Journey's walking the other way, and Journey went over to him, picked the bike up, picked the kid up, helped the kid dust himself off, talked to him a little bit, made sure the kid was all right. I'm pretty sure you did, because I was in my car, kind of went over on the side, and then the kid went on his way. Why are you so nice to young kids, which is a great thing? I remember the thing in Bradford last year. Why?
I mean, it's fun to spread the knowledge of the sport because I love it so much, and it's fun to just give them what I love and to just let them know how much I love it. I think they take a lead from that, and they kind of get a drive from that to say like, oh, if he likes it that much, maybe I can do it too. And like when I was younger, I was looked up to the older kids and stuff. They didn't really get much help, and I kind of wanted to be different from them. So I mean, and I like little kids anyways, and I'm crazy just like them. Still a little kid myself. So I mean, yeah, I think we kind of relate with that crazy stuff because I'm still a kid myself.
When you're running the football, and you go like you had that 99-yard run just recently in the playoffs. When you're going down that sideline, what are you thinking about?
Really nothing. You just kind of zone out, and you just when you know you're gone, that's when you start hearing stuff, and that's when you start realizing that you're about to bust it. But other than that, it's just like you're straight in the zone. It's really like I kind of developed this thing like everything's slow motion. Like you just see everything slow motion, so it kind of takes a long time. It's 100 yards seems like 2 miles almost because it's like all slow motion, and it's just then once stuff starts picking up, when you score, then you can hear the crowd, you can hear your teammates, you can hear yourself breathe, and that tiredness hits you. Then it's like, I mean, it's just like the best feeling. I feel like that's why I like running the ball so much.
You guys run the wing tee offense here in Meadville, an offense that some people call it a dinosaur,
It is.
to put it bluntly. But if you're a running back, you got to like this offense because you're going to get the ball a lot, Isaiah, right? You're going to get the ball a lot in this offense.
Yeah, I love running fullback, running up the middle, just powering up, getting some yards, helping the team out however I can.
I remember there was a game, Ed and I were in the box, and I turned to Ed, because Ed communicates with fans on Facebook during the game. And I remember telling Ed, I said, Ed, there's no way, I really believe Isaiah is a better back than his uncle was. And sure enough, your uncle contacted Ed on Facebook during the game, and you know his answer was? Yes, he is. I thought that was, and his uncle, Javar Manning, who was an outstanding runner here at Meadville and went on to play for Edinburgh University. So that says a lot. And Antonio, you got to like this offense also.
Yeah.
Now, you played fullback at one time, correct?
Yeah, my sophomore and junior year, I played fullback. Then
Did you like switching to halfback?
it was a little different, but I found my home there. 229. It's my dinosaur right there.
What do you guys, and you guys block for each other, and that's got to be rewarding. And that's important when you run the wing tee, correct? You have to block.
Yeah.
You just can't sit there and watch people run the football. How hard is it to block well?
It's more of a you're scared to disappoint like these two. Like for me, it's like if you don't block, then that means your boy's gonna get hit. And I think that's the main reason why we block so well because we just want to protect each other. And like people trying to take off our heads, so we're just not trying to let that to happen.
Where we are now, is this another reason why you want to block well? We're in the film room, and I remember sitting here many Saturdays, and the coaches would say, Antonio, where were you on that block? Or Journey, did you take a play off here? Or Isaiah, what are you doing? Does this make you work harder too, knowing that you're going to come in Saturday morning, and we used to say the eye in the sky
Yep,
doesn't
never
lie?
Yeah. I mean, it will catch you slacking for sure, and that's like another main thing because we know we come in here the next day, we're gonna get in trouble, and we even say like sometimes on the field like I missed that block. I can't wait till tomorrow. Like we know we're about to get cussed out. It's just
It's not just the coaches either. It's all your teammates.
Yeah, and I think that's the greatest thing, especially about this year's team out. You guys and kind of rag on each other in a nice way, You guys were telling me, I know Kurt had a couple quarterback sneaks for touchdowns this year that he just called on his own, right, Kirk? I mean, and I give you credit for that, because one of the times you did it, I said there in the booth, I said, Kirk should sneak it here, there's nobody over the center. And you probably saw that and decided, I'm just going to go straight ahead.
Yeah, the only person I let know is my center, Tristan Beck, and he pays away. He's touchdown.
Derek, being a receiver, did you lobby for more passes this year?
I mean, I hope to get the ball a little more, but honestly, it was.
And you
nice
ran the
seeing-
ball a little bit this year, correct?
Yeah.
You played some games
It
at
was
running
nice
back.
seeing these three run, and I mean. if
But
they-
you filled in at halfback a few
yeah, they
games
had
when
to go
Isaiah
out
was
there,
down.
Yep. It was pretty nice.
Get some questions here, Ed?
No, you're doing a good job.
One of the things I'm really proud of, Region Player of the Year, Journey Brown. One of the things, Journey, you said, and Isaiah said, and Antonio said all year, you wouldn't have got where you were for your yardage if it wasn't for the big hogs up front.
Yeah.
How well did your line play this year for you guys? I mean, to us, they were outstanding.
I mean, same with us too. We know what the work they put in, and they go harder than us. We do actually in practices. They go 110%. It shows in the games, and I don't think they understand how much we appreciate them, because we want to be where we are now. All of us over 1,000 yards, and I mean that's just saying something. Like, you don't get that a lot, so I mean it's fantastic.
Yeah, Journey, you were the player of the year. You were first team offense. Isaiah first team offense. Antonio first team offense. All three backs first team offense. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for
Huh?
sure.
And all three over 1,000. Journey had over 2,000 yards rushing.
Yeah.
You guys pounded the rock consistently, which is outstanding. On defense, Journey first team D-back, first team linebacker, Isaiah and Antonio second team linebacker. And Darius, you were second team defensive back. You enjoy playing defense or offense? Now, I give you a lot of credit, because earlier in the year, you had some tough plays, okay? We'll leave it at that, and that were on the film and everybody could see it, and the coaches played it a couple times, but you got better and better at D-back, which is a tough position to play because you're on an island a lot. You probably watch football games now, and you can appreciate a good D-back. Why did that change you? How did you get so much better?
I mean, it definitely starts in here, seeing it on film. If you get torched for a pass, for a touchdown, and I mean that was the thing on defense. No one wanted to be that person that let up any points. So that was my motivation, was the film room every Saturday morning.
The other part in your game that got really better too, Darius, was your tackling. I mean, Ed, you commented on it a lot of times that the year was ending, that he was one of the best tackles on special teams.
Oh, he did real well, and especially when he was playing the DB position.
Yeah.
I'd come down here and they were having lifting in the summer. He's out there working, so I worked with him a little. Your brother was out there, so I threw the ball a little bit, and finally he started, catching the ball at the highest point, started to shed off his blocks a lot better, just everything, and even on special teams. I mean, you were the first one down there. Even Kirk would be the first one down there.
Well,
No, I've seen you a couple times down
As far
there,
as
buddy.
Kirk kicked the ball, if you're not too far to run, but just kidding. But you were the first one down, and you made a lot of tackles. You get satisfaction tackling people.
Oh yeah, I like being the first one down there and try to make the tackle.
How about in that playoff game when you blocked the bunt and it was right in front of you and you boom, touchdown? How did that
Yeah.
feel?
It was pretty nice. I don't score a lot of touchdowns like these three do, so I mean I really wasn't expecting them to punt the ball or for it to go over his head. But as soon as I seen that, I just took off and started chasing the ball.
Yeah, that was great. You guys all play defense. More satisfaction. I think you get more satisfaction playing defense. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, last year playing linebacker, our defense was not very good at all, and it was frustrating. And this year, I knew we all worked. We all know what was at stake. Coaches put together a game plan, and we had to execute it every week. And I think everybody on our defense really wanted to play defense, wanted to shut every team down. Big hits. We loved it. We just ate it all up this year.
One of the biggest big hits had to be in that state playoff game, though, when you blindsided the quarterback for Hollidaysburg. It was like a picture-perfect blindside hit. Ball's on the ground. Your buddy right here, Antonio, scoop and score for a touchdown. You must have felt like awesome. That had to feel good, that hit there.
Yeah, it did. As soon as Coach Goss called that blitz, I love getting a blitz called, and I seen that quarterback drop back, and I knew they were running a long route behind me because he was just waiting. Got him in my sights, and he scored the touchdown.
And would you feel like scooping out of that? Felt good too, right?
Yeah, because I was on a blitz also, and all of a sudden I see boom as he stick the quarterback and the ball was just on the ground.
And Journey in the playoff game earlier on, you had a pick six. That must have felt good.
I mean, that was probably the easiest thing I could have done. It came right to me. So, I mean, I was dropping back, and he was running a slant, so I was about to come up. And I think he just didn't run his route all the way through. I just came up, caught it, and just ran it back. And, of course, I had blockers the whole way down the field, so, I mean, it was easy for me to just run it in.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming on. Also, I want to congratulate you on a great season. I know the boosters and a person in town has donated money, so you guys are getting championship rings.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're going to remember this for the rest of your lives, and you're an example of what you can accomplish if you really don't care who gets credit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't care who gets credit, you can get these things right here. And you guys were just fun to watch all year and fun to broadcast all year. And, you know, good luck, Antonio and JB and Darius and Kirk. You guys are on your way to bigger and better things in your lives. You're going to be very successful, but, you know, you're going to remember Meadville and the Meadville football program. And Isaiah, Coach Collins is salivating because you come back for another year.
Yep.
So he's happy
I'm
about
looking
that.
forward to it. Can't wait.
All right, we'll be back with some of the Hogs on the Meadville championship team this year. Back with the Hogs here, and Ed, take it away. Introduce these fine young men.
You got grinning Barrett, Hoffman, Tristan, Beck, and Luke Sherrod.
And guys, not only did an outstanding job, but you were the captains of the team, and that's unusual. Most teams maybe have a quarterback or a running back as a captain. When did you become captains, and how did you find out about that? Luke, why don't you tell us?
I remember after our Cathedral Prep game last year, Coach came up to me and Tristan, shook our hands, and said, "This is your team now. Take it where it needs to go." And so we took that to
Right
heart.
after that game last
Right after
year?
that game,
Wow.
he shook our hands and told us that. And we knew right then and there we'd have to take it right into the off season, right into the first lifting, and carry this team from January to the end.
So what did you guys do? Tristan, what'd you guys do?
We just came in here in the offseason lifting, and we pushed these guys hard. I remember Luke and I specifically, Big Jerry Hunter and another.
Because Barrett was playing hockey then?
Yeah, Barrett was at hockey. Luke and I were kind of taking control here, and we were just pushing these freshmen, these new freshmen coming out. Like I said, I remember getting Jerry Hunter, and he was coming here. He was real spotty, and Luke and I pushed him really hard one day, and I think that's what Coach Collins knew. We were able to lead this team, and I think we led this team.
Tell us about the senior lineman that thought about coming out as a sophomore, thought about coming out as a junior, but he finally came out this year, and he had a great time. In fact, I just talked to him a couple weeks ago, and he said, I should have came out 2 years ago, and he actually made some decent plays a couple times he was in there. Tell us about him, and tell us a little story about him. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Elijah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved having him on the team. He was always ready to work, always worked hard. We always pushed him too. He pushed us as well. He gave us a great look every week. I remember, especially for Hollisdayburg, they had a kid his size. And the whole week we were like, Elijah, you're going to give us the best look for that kid. And he did. And I loved having him on the team. I loved seeing his body shape. He lost 70, 80 pounds from the season. And I just loved having him. I'm so glad he came out his senior year. He was a real joy to have on the team.
He was always in a good mood, too.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I talked to him, I'd give him a ride home a couple times, and he was saying the same thing. He wished he would have came out. Coach was after him for a couple years, but, then he would just, walk away from it. But I'm glad he came back and he lost that weight, and you guys, kept him on board. And, I don't know, I just love his attitude.
Barrett, when did you guys know that your line was going to start really playing well? You guys were like a cohesive unit.
Yeah, I think.
And you stayed healthy.
Yeah, we did. We did stay healthy. We lost Tyler Amory in Oil City, but that was later towards the end of the year, which we had a great fill in for Tristan's little brother, Destin Beck. But I think Central Tech, honestly, or after the GM game, the second half of the GM game, we came and we started clicking, and we knew if those backs wanted to have all those yards and we wanted to win a game, it had to really go on us. So, what Journey said, he's we're the big clock, and every time he moves, every time we move, they move also. So.
Is it satisfying, though, when you guys make a block with the three backs you have, either one could take it to the house at any time?
Yeah, it's great.
They have some long runs. Journey had 99 yards, 70 yards. Isaiah for fullback had some 60-yarders. Antonio had some 60, 70-yarders.
Yeah, and then about 10 seconds later, you see the lineman coming down.
Yeah. No, but that's got to be good knowing if you make a crease, your back's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great feeling.
Even sometimes we don't make a hole. They'll make the hole themselves. During the second cash game, I was blocking, and the play was going to the right, and I looked over to see where Journey's at, and he wasn't there. I looked behind me, he was on the ground behind me, and then to the left, he's just sprinting down the sideline.
I remember that run. But talking about that cash game, I thought your coaching staff made a great decision, too. They kind of got out of the wing T, and they put two backs facing the line, and they moved them up a little bit, which allowed you guys not to have to sustain your block as long, and that backs were able to hit the hole. And I thought it was a great coaching move by the coaches. Little things like that sometimes people don't realize helps each other, helps the linemen, helps the backs, because they were a hard team to move out in that playoff game for you guys. But tell us about your defense, because Ed Marin hit it on the head. This defensive line is the best defensive line I've seen in Meadville in a long time.
Right, because I was up here watching film, and it was against was a Strong Vincent we were watching. I was telling Coach, man, they looked slow last year. This year, you guys look so much faster. What was the change?
And tackling.
Right. What was the change?
And this young man here, Mr. Beck, 100 tackles, which is outstanding.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm not sure. For me and Luke, we're bigger guys. They moved us inside. We used to play at ends last year, so I think we had more speed on the ends with Tristan and Will Pachkowski. I think that helped a lot. So
yeah,
Will came a long way. He really played well.
Yeah, she did. They brought me down from linebacker to play some D-line, and they, like I said, they brought William Pachkowski up, and he's one hell of a kid.
Coach did a good job by doing that, rotating it. That was a good call.
But your technique this year was so much better. I remember coaches, Tristan, in your case, telling you to keep that outside shoulder free, move it down the line. And you can see you guys and keeping your head and your shoulder square, even so you're moving. Don't turn your body, plug that up, make the back bounce it where we have the corner coming or whatever. You guys played technique so well, but you didn't. What I liked is you weren't catching. In the past, so many Meadville defensive line were catching blocks and getting blown back. You guys were doing your technique, but you were moving ahead, right where the backs were, and shedding your blocks at the same time. People don't realize how hard that is.
Mm-hmm.
Does that come through repetition and practice? Where's that come?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think all about the hands-on and everything. I think Coach Goss he's always critiquing us with the hands-on and doing the wrong shoulder and everything. So I think that helped a lot.
And you guys understand it then, too, right?
Yeah.
Then when you watch film, you can see it.
Yeah.
Now, this year I thought was different, too, which ask you guys if it was a big help. Ed says he swears it's a big help. You guys didn't just watch film Saturday. You watched it a couple times of your opponents throughout the week. How much of a help was that?
It gave you a feel for what they're going to be like on Friday night. It gave you a feel like you knew exactly what you were practicing for that week. You watch it on Monday, and that way you get your mind right for the whole week to know if this is how they're going to be, how fast they're going to be, how they're coming off. Get your mind right for it, and then just remind yourself Thursday as well before the game that this is how they're going to play. It gives you a purpose in practice. You're not going in there blind.
And also, I think the film on Thursdays, like we would practice all week. We would watch that first film on Monday,
Right.
kind of get an idea of who they are, and then we'd practice against it all week. And then Thursdays we could see, oh, this is what we're not doing wrong, or like, I need to squeeze down here a little bit more to keep this from happening. Thursdays made it a lot more clear. It definitely
So it definitely benefited.
Oh yeah, a lot.
And Barrett, how much as a help? And I know sometimes it's hard. Kids are in ninth grade and they're a little squirrely, but they got to be the look squad most of the time. Did the look squad get better, and that help you guys as the season progressed?
Yeah, I would have to say the look squad helped a lot. I mean, with those big games like Grove City and everything, I mean, it helped a lot, and especially with like Elijah Soltis when we had to play Hollidaysburg, and he had to have that big man on the nose guard, so it gave a good look to Tristan and I and everything. So.
What did it feel like being part of this team as the season progressed and the community was getting behind this team more and more? And what did it feel like after winning D10 and all of a sudden the police and firemen pick you guys up over Smock Bridge and going around town with the sirens on?
Yeah, I had no idea about it, but as soon as you looked outside, you saw this, like the sirens going and the lights flashing and everything, and it felt amazing. It really did. It felt like you were a champion.
Because Coach said you guys played so hard between Greenville to that point. You guys were kind of tired and the bus ride was kind of quiet.
Yeah.
It got exhausting towards the end of the season for sure. We got tired. But it went back to all the work we put in the offseason. We were able to sustain the run as long as we did and stay healthy.
All right, so let's take it. You win Region 5. You beat Grove City. You walk off that field. And I got a sense, though, you guys were happy, but I could tell that wasn't where you wanted to end the season.
No,
So you go play District 10. Cash comes in. You play them at Greenville. They're up 20-7 at half. You guys a little nervous, or you just said, "Hey, we're gonna start playing the ball here"? What were they doing that hurt you guys?
I think they're squeezing really hard. What I mean by that, when we would go to the next level and everything, they would squeeze, and it would be hard to get like that trap and everything. So I think I was a little worried, but I knew we were going to come out strong in the second half.
And you were able to tell your coaches what they're doing, which the
Yeah.
coaches really like. When you guys can see what's going on and tell the coach that they can make adjustments. Then you beat Grove City again, win D10. First ever in Meadville history. That's got to be a great feeling, because when you're 40 or 50 years old, no matter how old you get, you can always say, I was on the team to win the first ever D10 football in Meadville history. And then the first ever to go to States and win a game at States. Satisfying?
Yeah.
It's so satisfying. It stamps our legacy on this program.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. It's what we worked for so long. All those hot days in the summer, all the days up in here when it was snowing, working out, and it just finally paid off. It's just
Getting
a
to practice
relief.
on Thanksgiving Day, huh?
Yeah, that's great.
Well, guys, we want to thank you, and I know all of you are going to be very successful in your future, and Coach probably wish you guys had another year, but I know all of you are going on to bigger and better things, so good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Good luck,
Thank
guys.
you.
You've been watching Meadville Football 2016 on Sports Close-Up on Armstrong.
Mumau with split backs behind him, and he'll turn and give it to Journey Brown. Journey Brown with a sharp cut, gets to the numbers, 40, 45, down the right sideline, there he goes, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Journey Brown, 61 yards. 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. They gave us to Manning, right up the middle. Slips one tackle, there he goes, to his feet, 40. Down the left sideline, 30, 25, 20, 15, one man to beat, 10, 5, touchdown. Isaiah Manning, he slipped and looked like he was going to fall down right around the 1st down marker. Instead, he goes 66 yards to the house.
I tell you what, he looked really good for being a big guy. He put his hand down and just kept going, got tripped up. Old Mack Truck Manning for a nice touchdown run. What a run.
And so the Bulldogs start at their own 1-yard line, but watch out. They've got guys that can take it to the house. And here's one of them, Journey Brown, through a crease. 10, 15, 20, right sideline.
Go.
Is he going to go 99 yards?
Yes, he is.
To the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Journey Brown goes 99 yards.
Journey, don't stop believing. He cut that corner and he was gone.
One receiver out wide to the right. Mumau under center, turns, gives Antonio Ferraro into the end zone off the left side. Touchdown Bulldogs. 11:22 remaining in the second. They go up 27-14.
Old Antonio Ferraro Testarossa. I know Mike likes that one. I had to say that.
Mumau now on a 2nd down and 13 back at the 46-yard line. Here's Journey Brown. What a cut to the right side. There he goes. He's gone. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Journey Brown, 46 yards.
I got to do it. Mike, here's one for you. When you're even, he's leaving.
3rd down and a long 9 at the 37-yard line. Brown, the left wing back, motions right. Mumau's looking to throw.
Got him. He
Mumau
got him.
deep
He
ball.
got him.
He's got Antonio Ferraro, makes the catch, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Antonio Ferraro Testarossa, he just got behind there, and that ball just stayed up, and he went past those DBs just enough where, it could have fluttered a little bit longer.
Split backs are Ferraro and Manning. Brown on the right wing. Mumau under center with one wide. They'll turn and give it to Journey Brown. There goes Journey Brown going right. Now he cuts it across the grain. He's got blockers.
He's
30
gone.
to the 40. Midfield being chased by Saucerman. Brown on the left sideline. 30, 25, 20. Diving
gone.
tackle attempt. Misses.
Nice
And Brown
play.
heads into the end zone for a touchdown.
Journey, don't stop believing with that nice run.
5 yards.
Oh my gosh, didn't we just talk about that? They could just hit it, any one of them back. Oh, Mike, you're missing a good game, buddy.
Ferraro, right halfback. Brown, left halfback. Manning, the fullback. One split end to the right. Brown comes in motion. There goes Journey Brown to the 30. Through a hole, he's gone. 10-5 touchdown.
That was a nice cutback. His vision is unbelievable, too.
Trips to the left. Single receiver. Far side on the short side to the right. Cavallette throws it. It's intercepted. Journey Brown with the pick off at the 35. There he goes to the near side. 20. Cuts left. Now stays to his right. And Journey Brown go for the pylon. He's in for the touchdown.
Whoa.
Well, might as well just add that to his evening.
Boy, he came up there and undercutted that one. He read that play real well.
A 35-yard pick six.
Well, you might as well give him one on the kickoff, too.
Fitzpatrick, single safety, will back up at his own 40-yard line. And
Over
the snap
his head.
goes over the head of Hilling.
You were just saying that today.
Hilling has to pick
Nice.
it up, and it's
Got
blocked,
it,
and it's
got
being
it.
recovered for a touchdown in
Edwards.
the end zone. Darius Edwards
Nice
recovers
play.
the touchdown. He blocked the punt a yard deep in and recovers it in the end zone.
Nice play, young man.
Young is the back. Cavallette from the gun takes the snap, and he got hit. Ball's loose. Manning drilled him. It's going to be scooped up. And there goes Antonio Ferraro on a scoop and score for a Meadville touchdown.
He's down again.
Oh, Cavallette got killed on the blind side by Isaiah Manning.
Oh, what a hit.
Brown's going to feel a little hop at the 23-yard line. There goes Brown down the right sideline to the 45, 40, 35, 30. Still on his feet, 20. He's gone. 10, 5, touchdown, Journey Brown. 39 seconds left to go in the game. Ferraro from the right wing goes in motion. They're going to give to Journey Brown on the counter. Journey Brown.
One last
Still on his
one,
feet.
one
There he
last
goes
one.
to the
Come on.
15, 10, and throw him down to the turf inside the 5-yard line.